Hi, I'm Matt. Welcome to Disney Planning Insights. Through creative content and live shows, we explain the hidden details of the Disney experience so that our clients can execute memorable adventures. Together with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel, we have helped hundreds of clients plan, book, and prepare for magical Disney vacations. Let our experience help you avoid common planning mistakes and maximize the enjoyment on your next Disney trip. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Matt with the DPI podcast. How you doing? It's another Tuesday night. We are live on the first Tuesday in August. We got a good show. Probably not a really long show, depending on how much I want to diatribe about the things I think are going to be announced at D23 and what I would like to see announced at D23. But with that being said, we are going to have some fun on Saturday night. So mark your calendars for this Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. That is going to be in the evening because we are going to live stream kind of with the parks and experiences announcements and give our thoughts and give our opinions and kind of give our input on how these are going to affect the parks going forward. We are expecting some relatively large announcements, so definitely want to stay tuned for that. With that being said, tons of new subscribers over the weekend. Thank you guys all for checking out the channel. The one that did make themselves seen is Cameron Smith 1001. Cameron, thank you for joining the channel. Hopefully you enjoy the content, and if you'd like to see anything else from the parks, let us know. But yeah, it's been and there's Cameron right there. It's been a week, and it's kind of the week that we expected from Disney, kind of what they did last year leading up to D23. We got a lot of information about the treasure in the lead up to D23. This year, we got a lot of information about the Destiny, and we'll talk a little bit about that in the news. We also got some sneak peeks at what Mickey and Minnie are going to look like for Not So Scary. They've had a hurricane, tropical storm, hurricane down in the area. How has it affected the parks over the last few days? You know, there has been maybe a little bit of damage reported, not a ton. Disney does really well during these big storms, so not surprised with how little has come out from the parks about things that need to be repaired, replaced, or anything like that. And then we're going to talk a little bit about D23 and kind of our thoughts, or at least my thoughts, of what I think is going to be announced and what I think should be announced. And I'll try and separate those as much as possible, but in the end they're all going to kind of get mismatched, and you can misquote me and everything as we move forward. So let's go ahead, let's jump into the news real quick. That way we can get those things knocked out, and then we will kind of go from there. So here we go. All right, let's start a little bit. Hey, there's Cameron Smith's thing again. Great. Let's talk a little bit about, wow, this screen is bad. What came out about the Disney Destiny last week? Now, the Destiny is one of the new ships, and it's going to be taking sail next year in November, and we initially thought it was going to be the end of the year, December. That's what everything was pointing towards, but it looks like the inaugural cruise will be in November, a Thanksgiving cruise in 2025. Now the Grand Hall is going to be inspired by Doctor Strange with a statue of Black Panther. So you know the Grand Halls, they have these great statues, great theming. This is going to give you that sanctum feel walking into it. And again, this ship is all about heroes and villains, so it's going to be very very different than a lot of the ships with the Mickey and Minnie themes and the princess themes and that kind of stuff. So Black Panther sculpture as the main sculpture in the Grand Hall, Doctor Strange library type feel in that Grand Hall. The Stern art. So this is always a big thing. We've had Rapunzel, we've had Peter Pan and Hook. So this is going to be Spider-Man chasing down some spider bots, which is pretty cool. Gives you that different feel. Some of the restaurants, we talked about the Lion King themed restaurant, the Feast of the Pride Lands. And then we've got Worlds of Marvel restaurant will feature the Groot remix show that was announced for the Disney Treasure. It's also going to be on the Destiny. The Frozen musical spectacular is going to be on the Destiny. And then Disney Sees the Adventure will be on the Walt Disney Theater on the Destiny. So there's your show lineup. One of the other restaurants. Marceline Market's going to return, Hero Zone, Toy Story Splash Zone, Marvel Superhero Academy, a Star Wars Cargo Bay, Palo, Enchant, Quiet Cove, Disney Uncharted Adventure, and more coming to the Destiny as well. So Palo, one of the higher end restaurants that you kind of pay out of pocket for, and some of the other experiences. And then they've shown kind of like the Tower Suite and that kind of stuff. It's going to honor Iron Man's legacy. It really looks like something that you would see in the Avengers Tower, so in Stark Tower. So no, really, really cool, lots of fun. Gonna be a neat ship. Gonna be out of Fort Lauderdale, so another ship that's gonna be doing kind of those Caribbean type cruises just from the other side of Florida. Just give them some more volume moving through those ports. So it's gonna be cool to see. Let's see, anything else crazy? We got the outfits that Mickey and Minnie are going to be wearing for Not So Scary this year. So Not So Scary, the add-on party at Magic Kingdom Park starts August 9th, goes through Halloween. So August 9th, right around the corner, it's Friday. And Minnie is going to be wearing a purple witch costume, and Mickey will be wearing kind of like a green, it's more of like a lime green type, lime green and purple type suit with the hat. If you are familiar with the Haunted Mansion Mickey over in Paris, that's the purple and the green. It's kind of the reverse of that. So it's predominantly green with purple hat, and then the spider web details for both. So that's kind of cool. All of the major bloggers are getting out to California for D23, so newer news not getting a ton of. We did get a new trailer for Moana 2. Speaking of Moana 2, Moana 2 was supposed to go to Disney Plus as a series. They decided to make it a movie. Disney Plus is getting a bump in the subscription price. So like your normal tier with no ads is going from $7.99 to $9.99 a month. Yeah, like a $2 almost across the board per month. Kind of sucks, but kind of is what it is. Anything else crazy? Food trucks. Oh, let's see if I can find this. I know it was kind of a ways away. There's the D23. They had the D23 day at Anaheim Stadium. That was a big letdown. The crowd did not look good for that game at all. I don't know if they limited it to the D23 members or if it was like an open crowd plus D23 members. If it was open crowd plus D23 members, yeah, you failed miserably there, because there wasn't more than 15,000 people there. So come on, where's it at? D23 or Disney announced the Legends lineup for this year. Kind of the highlights: Joe Road, John Williams, Miley Cyrus, Jamie Lee Curtis. Geez, where'd it go? I've saved a lot of news. You are killing me. My scroll's killing me today. Let's go back here. I can find it faster this way. You. Destiny. Epic. Why do I feel like it was like... Oh, it was at the end of last week, that's why. Epic Universe. If you guys haven't seen the fly-through for Wizarding World, Harry Potter, that was something. Okay. I can't find this anywhere. Do I have to go to the Google? Don't make me go to the Google. Don't make me do it. Oh, we did get Bruno and Mirabelle as well. Let me see if I can find this way. Disney Legends 2024. 2024 class of Disney Legends. All right, here we go. So we got Ryan Seacrest, Colleen Atwood. Colleen Atwood was costume design. Angela Bassett, Martha Blanding. She was the first ever full-time black tour guide. James Brooks. So film and TV icon. James Cameron, there's another big name that I missed. Jamie Lee Curtis, Miley Cyrus, Steve Ditko. He is a comic maker, comic designer. Harrison Ford, there's another big one I missed. Mark Henn, Frank Oz. Frank Oz is a big one. Frank Oz is part of the original Muppeteers for the Muppet Show. He was also the originator and the performer of Yoda in the Star Wars galaxy. In The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker. Kelly Ripa, another big name. Joe Road, John Williams. So yeah, big class. Of course, it's Anaheim. They're going to get a huge class like that. It just is what it is. Yeah. Note to self, when you rewatch this, remake this screen. That's about it for the news. I mean, like I said, there wasn't a ton of news. There it is. So it's hard to fill 15 minutes with what wasn't necessarily there. I think the time's going to be better spent here in the next like 20 minutes talking about D23. So let's talk a little bit about D23 until the timer goes off, and then we'll kind of continue from there. So D23 begins on Thursday, really. Friday in earnest. Friday, we're going to get the entertainment panel, which will be the big panel, nighttime panel on Friday. Saturday, we get the parks and entertainment panel, which is the big panel that everybody's waiting for. And then Sunday, you get a little bit of the other ancillary stuff. So let me pull up my handy dandy calendar here to see what everything's got going on. So, schedule Friday night. Disney Entertainment Showcase at the Honda Center. Yeah, and then Saturday, lots of panels on Saturday. Tons of stuff going on Saturday. Disney Experience Showcase. They're saying it's an hour and a half, from 7 to 8:30 Pacific time. So from 10 to 11:30. Like I said, Peter and I are going to go check that out. We are going to be live streaming and kind of doing a reaction show. And then really there's nothing huge on Sunday. Disney Awards ceremony. They're doing a simulcast for that, but they're not doing one for the parks. I thought they were doing a simulcast for the parks. Yeah, we'll figure it out. So, oh, I put my head down and go out of focus. That's pretty interesting. So yeah, so it is Horizons is the title of the Parks Experience panel. We are pretty super excited for it. To be honest, I feel like it's going to be one of those. I think this year is going to be a big year for the American parks. We're kind of wrapping up or in the middle of a huge thing in Tokyo, but we're wrapping up kind of the Frozen area in Paris. We had Fantasy Springs open in Shanghai, or in Tokyo Sea. We had the Frozen area open up in Hong Kong. So you've got a lot that's opened up overseas or is getting ready to open up, and then you have the big project, the Tomorrowland Reimagine in Tokyo, that will be done late 2025, I think is what they're saying. We had initially talked about as far as a graduation trip for my daughter, possibly. So we'll kind of see how that goes. But that's the news. Let's go ahead. Let's get back to live. Oh, let's just go here. All right. So let's talk a little bit about D23. So D23 Expo this weekend. What do we know is coming? Well, we know that we are going to get some information about the Central America's Animal Kingdom redo. So basically this is them taking Dino Land out and putting in a Central America's theme in. So think about like Mexico to northern South America, the equatorial Americas, I guess, is what they're calling it. So you're movies that you're going to hit here, you're going to have some Coco influence, you'll have some Encanto influence, you'll have some Indiana Jones influence. You're going to have a lot of things like that. Wow. Why did that go all the way back there? So we're going to get that. They've already submitted for permits for the trailer community that's going to house like all your engineering and your construction teams and all that kind of stuff. With that being said, you know, Peter brought up a great point last week. The size of this area that they are committing to the trailers and that kind of stuff is relatively large for just a land makeover. So if they aren't doing this land makeover, which I bet you we're probably 80% certain that this is a done deal, that we are getting Equatorial Americas at Animal Kingdom in place of Dino Land. So what's that going to... Well, I mean, we're certain of that. If we don't get that and they've got this big of a trailer community, is this the staging area for the construction of the fifth gate? I don't think so. I don't think... And unfortunately, I don't think so because of... I don't trust in Disney's ability to think that large anymore. And it's hard to say that, and it pains me to say that, because I really enjoy going to the parks, and I really enjoy taking my family and enjoying the things that my family does at the parks. But when you look at the projects and the scale of the projects and the scope of the projects and what actually gets done, I don't think that Disney has enough imagination to do a whole another park without it being 100% a clone of something else. You know, if it's a clone park, they probably have it down pat. But I don't think they do a clone park, because if you were going to clone a park, you'd clone like Tokyo Disney Sea and bring that to Orlando. I don't think there's really anything else out there that you would clone to bring to Orlando as far as a full park goes. So we're probably looking at Equatorial Americas at Animal Kingdom and a shovel and ground date, or they live stream the wrecking ball going through Triceratops Spin or something like that. But what are we going to get out of Equatorial Americas? Okay, we are going to get an Encanto slow ride, some slow moving either Omni Mover, or I think maybe like the 3D or the 360 overhead technology type ride. So think of like Peter Pan with the capabilities of the cars on Guardians of the Galaxy. That as the car is going through the scenes, it can rotate, but it's flying and it's doing all that kind of stuff. I think that's what we're looking at. Slow moving ride there. We're probably looking at Dinosaur being changed to Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones in Disneyland California is the same exact track layout, ride system, everything like that. So we're probably getting that. We're probably going to get one additional ride, some type of carousel or spin or something like that. So like Triceratops Spin, but with Zootopia animals or whatever. Something like that is going to be kind of the third ride in this area. So what does that do ride-wise? Well, it brings us back up to what they had ride-wise before, minus the little train in Dino Land. So you'd still have 3 rides back there. You would spruce up the area. You would probably add one kind of like passive ride whether it's like you take Dino Dig and make it like Indiana Jones, an architect or an archaeological learning station or something like that, you know, tied into the um, the animal kingdom theming and that kind of stuff. I think that's what you get there. Now, moving past that, I think we get a little bit more murky because I think the next thing that they announce is the Disneyland Forward project and Pandora for Disneyland. I think those are the two projects that have gotten a go, have gotten a lot of press because they've either outright been said, hey, this is happening, or we've already got plans and planning commission stuff and zoning and all that kind of stuff going through in Anaheim, which we do for Disneyland Forward. We're going to get announcements there. Uh-oh. We got this, oh, she came back with the other stuff. It's the night before school starts, so we have visitors. And we've got rain, and we've got all kinds of stuff. So Disneyland Forward. The project looked like it. And it's weird. It's hard to conceptualize the actual size of the area, but it looked like we were going to get multiple rides, probably 4 or 5 major rides, which means we're probably going to see the Thanos ride end up there. We're probably going to see the Pandora area over there, that kind of stuff, end up in this new Disneyland Forward project. I don't know. I really think that they're starting to segment things off over there, and it's totally we don't have enough land in the areas that we want to do the things that we want to do in California. So it's going to end up being kind of a hodgepodge of things in this area. I don't think it's going to have one consistent theme. I don't think it's going to be lands by any means. I think it's going to be some kind of hodgepodge of adventure world or something like that, like they're doing at Disneyland Paris, where they've kind of taken and just said, hey, we're just going to put rides in, and they're all going to have IP, and you guys can figure it out. We're not going to put the time into actually build full lands. You know, you've got Avengers ride and the Crush's Coaster and all this stuff kind of stacked on top of each other. So we'll see. You look so weird with glasses.
No, I don't.
Then the next thing. So those are kind of the two, like, hey, we know this is happening type stuff. From there, I think we hear about Beyond Big Thunder Mountain. Now, Beyond Big Thunder Mountain is going to be rather contentious because this is going to be an interesting... It's going to be an interesting area, and it's going to be an interesting transition as it makes its way back around towards Haunted Mansion. I think you're going to get 2 lands out of this. I think you're going to get an expansion of Frontierland. So Frontierland is going to expand into this Beyond Big Thunder Mountain area, and it's going to be like a Fantasyland-esque expansion that we got like in the early teens. Then you're going to get the Villain's Land. The Villain's Land will start at Haunted Mansion, work its way around, and they're really going to have to cut down, if not completely remove, the Rivers of America and the Liberty Bell and that kind of stuff. But it's probably going to significantly cut down that attraction into just a loop and not the big kind of D loop that it does right now with the little cutout around the backside of Big Thunder Mountain. All that. What are we going to get in this land? Okay, so rumors right now have a clone of Radiator Springs Racers going into this land. if you put that back there, you are probably not getting another ride in that area unless it's some small, yeah, magic carpets or something of that variety type. You're not going to get 2 e-ticket rides in that area. You're probably going to get another e-ticket ride in the Villains Land area, and who knows what that could be. I doubt it's going to be anything substantial. It's probably not going to be another coaster. I would say it's probably going to be another boat ride. But who knows? You know, that's where I just don't feel like a Villains Land plays with what they're doing at that park. I think a Villains Land needs to be in its own park with other stories, not necessarily butt up against Small World. You know, that transition just doesn't work really well. You know, Haunted Mansion's just kind of on its own little island back there, and it doesn't really fit with anything, but I think that's kind of what makes it unique. And then you're going to throw a bunch of stuff that's supposed to, Haunted Mansion's supposed to be kind of the trigger point for the rest of this Villains Land on the backside of the park, and I don't know that it's going to work. What else are we going to get? Well, we are going to get either a major expansion or a new resort announced on the monorail. Now, is it going to be on the monorail? No, it's not going to be on the monorail. It is probably going to be a rehash of the Reflections project that's over on the River Country Island. I think that project comes back and comes to fruition as of D23. I would rather see a hotel between the TTC and Epcot, but my dream is a front gate Epcot hotel like they have at Paris. Disneyland Paris has a front gate hotel, and it's awesome. It is their showcase hotel. It is meant to be their showcase hotel. It overlooks the park. It is beautiful, and it's the front gate. Epcot could do this. Epcot could put a fantastically themed, enormous hotel right over the monorail. Put a big keyhole in the middle of it so you can see Spaceship Earth through it. Give yourself a rooftop restaurant like no other, and have a day of it. I mean, it'd just be spectacular. It comes back to that point that I said earlier. I don't think that the imagination's big enough at Disney right now to think about something like that. And that's why I don't think a fifth gate is in the cards, because I don't think there's enough good ideas to fill a fifth gate. If they did a fifth gate, it's going to be like 2 lanes of great, 3 lanes of God, why'd they throw this in here? Or it's going to be like Zootopia is going to be a whole land, and then they're going to put an Avengers land in, and you're going to have Guardians at Epcot. And, you know, it just, right now the fifth gate becomes so segmented because you've already tried to put these IPs in different areas that it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. Lastly, last thing I think, and I think Peter was onto this last week, I think we get Coco replacing the 3 Caballeros in the Mexico Pavilion. You know, I think there's a lot of people that are loyalists to that ride, and really would hate to see it go, but it just makes a ton of sense. And then you rework the queue outside to the left of the Mexico Pavilion, to where it's outdoors, comes indoors right before the ride, and then you have the ride. Don't have to do a ton to it. You've got a lot of the structure. You just make it cool. Make a transition. Bring in, what are they? The Yokwins, the dragon, the big panther with wings, what Dante becomes when he goes over the bridge, that kind of stuff. The guides to the Beyond. And I think that gets announced. I think that's going to be the surprise of the night. I don't think you're going to get another blue sky idea. I don't think you're going to get anything like that. I think what you're getting this year is a lot of shovel in ground, we're ready to go, this is what we're doing type presentations. Now, with that being said, is Beyond Big Thunder Mountain going to go this year? No, it won't, because they will not start that project with Big Thunder Mountain down, and Big Thunder Mountain's going to go down for a year here in the fall. So end of September, Big Thunder Mountain's going down for a year. They won't start that project until Big Thunder Mountain's back up and going. So they need visibility on it. They're not going to get it from the Liberty Bell because they're probably going to have to shut that down. They're not going to get it from Haunted Mansion because it's going to be behind Haunted Mansion and to the left, where it's really hard to get visibility to. They want people to see the walls. They want people to see what's coming. They need people on Big Thunder Mountain to create that excitement. That's why I think that project doesn't even start until late 2025. So, and it's probably a 2-year project at least, so we're probably not even looking until late 2027 for that to be done. Equatorial Americas, even if it's an 18-month project, that's pushing it. An 18-month project, and if they put the first shovel in the ground on Saturday night when they announce it, you're still looking at middle of 2026 for it to be open. So yeah, we've got some time. So just be ready for a huge chunk of Animal Kingdom to be down. Be ready for a big construction site, but not one that's really going to impact the park at Magic Kingdom. And I don't think you see a whole lot else go on at Magic Kingdom. They don't need to change a whole lot unless they add something Rapunzel in. But yeah, I think you've got those 4 things are going to be your major things. I think you get a lot more detail in the cruise side. So the treasure, the adventure, the destiny, I think you get a lot of into the details on that. That was one of the things I loved about D23 last year, was the DCL panel that they had. That was fantastic. So definitely going to be watching for some of the news that comes from that. But like I said, stick with us. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we are going to be tweeting a ton, so check us out over at Disney Insights over on X. And then, like I said, Saturday night, we're going to figure out how we're going to do it. If they don't do a live stream, if we end up having to pull from somebody else's stream or something like that, we're going to figure out how to make this work to where we can kind of do a Mystery Science 3000 review type podcast on top of the announcement. So definitely want to check that out. But that's all I've got for tonight. So thank you guys all for watching. I'm going to go ahead and hit this outro and then let you guys enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. So have a wonderful night. See you guys later. Hey, there were no guests. It was just me, and we had a lot of fun. We talked about D23 and the news from the week. So check it out. want to get into a conversation, go over to Twitter or X or whatever you call it now, at Disney Insights. We also have Instagram, YouTube. Thank you guys all for watching, liking, listening, sharing, subscribing, everything